So this is my second speech today. Earlier today, I spoke to about 200, 300 young men at a young men leadership conference at Mount Miguel High School, middle school age, right? And the theme of that conference was be intentional. Intentional. And I'm going to carry that through my weekend of being intentional of our moves, our thoughts, the things we do, our actions, our advocacy, being intentional. Intentional means doing things deliberate and on purpose. And I say do it on purpose with purpose. When I got invited here, I was waiting for time to go by for me to not be invited here. But that call never happened. So for the first time out of the many speeches I've given across this country, I didn't know what to say. And that's rare for me. If you know me, you know I never run out of things to say. I'm co-founder of nonprofit Paving Great Futures, right? We're a small nonprofit. We have 5 paid staff, full-time staff members. 3 men, my co-founders, my two friends I grew up with my whole life, and then there's 2 women, both survivors. One was in the game for 14 years, one was in the game for 20 years. I've known her since she was 13 years old. She is the first woman that I seen enter into the lifestyle. We rescued her about 1.5 years ago and got her out of the life where she was slowly committing suicide. One of my best friends. Okay, those 2 women, I went into the office the other day thinking about today. What was I gonna say? And I went in there to them and I had to explain who the Junior League was, what this event was to them. And I asked them for some advice, what should I say? And both of them at the same time told me to please tell the advocates to be more out there. Like the women that I'm speaking for now, even the men that I'm speaking for now, they don't know that this advocacy even exists. All of these beautiful programs, beautiful resources, they're not reaching a large population right here in our own city. We come to these meetings and we see a lot of the same faces talking to a lot of the same people about a lot of the same awareness. Okay, the ones we're aiming to serve, we are really touching just the tip. There are women right here downtown, Southeast San Diego, North Park, 5-minute radius from here, that don't even know there are services out there for them to get the help we want to give them. I would like, if anything, I may never be invited back here. We need to be more intentional and deliberate on getting to that population of people. They need your help. Like Bianca said, a lot of people have good hearts, good intentions. But what do we need to do to really reach the people that we are claiming we want to help? They need us. I'm in there. I'm in the trenches daily with survivors, with survivors' kids, with their boyfriends, with former pimps, with current pimps. Somebody has to stop them, and incarceration is not the answer. We've tried to incarcerate our way out of many problems. It ain't solved nothing yet. America is the leading of incarceration of the entire world. It has not worked yet. As much awareness as we have, as much meetings as we have together, brilliant minds, beautiful hearts, I would like to see a shift in this 2020 go from just, as much as we need awareness, can we do 50% awareness and 50% solutions? Can we bring these beautiful minds and hearts together to come up with solutions? I guarantee right amongst here we have solutions. We can brainstorm on that. Jail isn't it. Let's get to the youth before they even think this is an option for their life. The population I'm speaking for, they didn't necessarily be forced, fraud, or coerced into the lifestyle. They thought this was a viable option for them because they didn't believe in themselves from the beginning. We've been getting taught to be exploiters since I was a kid. Before I knew what a pimp was, I had to walk through the grocery store and see a half-naked woman on a magazine. I had to turn on television to find out that a woman did have a value on her, but it was not on her mind. It was her body and what she had to offer sexually. That's what this society taught us. And if I'm learning that as a man, what's the woman learning as a woman? She's seeing the same imagery. What is she thinking of herself? This issue's bigger than human sex trafficking. We can hashtag inhuman sex trafficking all day long and it won't end. As long as there's poverty, as long as there's no options and resources really being given to the people that are going into this lifestyle like it's an option, then it will not end. Let's face the real problem. Weeds, I don't know if y'all gardeners, but a weed, if you snip a weed, you're not killing the weed. You're snipping the weed. We must face and understand the root problem and get to the root and uproot it so we can really help people, right? And if we end or kind of stop human sex trafficking now, but we leave poverty and we leave the root, if it's not human sex trafficking, it'll be something else. I was born in 1981. It was a thing called the crack epidemic that destroyed our communities. It wasn't human sex trafficking as a target then. And then we had major gang issues, which are dying now. Then it merged into human sex trafficking. There's going to be something. As long as there's poverty, as long as there's people that don't believe in themselves, no resources coming into the communities. I operate a program at Bell Middle School right now with high-risk youth. They have the same televisions in that school they had when I was there. Come on now. Are we really giving to these youth? Giving them another option? Or are we letting rappers tell them what to do? We can keep doing that. Those were my teachers. We speak of Martin Luther King. We caption him. But I know I can't quote him directly, but there was a part of one speech where he said if you leave people in the darkness and then they do something, stump their head, bump their head, we don't blame the person who did it, we blame the person who turned the lights out on them. We are operating in the dark in these communities right here. We don't have to go far. We don't have to go far. There's girls selling themselves right here, right now, with and without a pimp. They need options. They need resources. They need to believe in themselves. And somebody has to teach them, because it's obviously not coming from broken homes, foster care system, you name it. We're dealing with a big mess here that's bigger than one of us can do as an individual. Let's use 2020. Let's be intentional on what we do and how we do it. Awareness is good. We need it. Let's shift the focus to solutions. I'm willing to talk at any point in time. I can tell you how I got involved very clearly. I can tell you how my friends and my homegirls got involved very clearly. This is not the biggest of the human sex trafficking epidemic domestically here. This happened over 20 years ago, but nobody cared. Law enforcement knew. They didn't care. It wasn't a target. Okay? Let's work on solutions, please. And be intentional, deliberate, work for purpose, on purpose, with purpose. Okay? Please. Solution-based, completely. Thank you.
Wow, are you all fired up? Ready to find some solutions? Well, I'd like to introduce our last speaker.